Hello there everyone, and welcome to your weekly MTA plan work video for the Queens Subways and the Long Island Railroad for the weekend of Friday, May 10th, 2019, and lasting until Monday, May 13th, 2019. Before we get started with this week's service changes video, to all the mothers and grandmothers and whoever is a mother in general, this is your weekend. On behalf of me, I want to wish all the mothers watching a happy Mother's Day, as of course Mother's Day is this Sunday, May the 12th. Unfortunately, the weather is not going to be good from what I've heard as I'm recording this, but maybe a miracle will happen, and maybe up in the sky our Mother Nature will maybe just keep it cloudy, and maybe we just won't have raindrops. But I know I'll be having dinner with my mom this weekend, so that's important for me and her. But all that being said, let's get started with this week's service changes video. How's that purple line doing? Good news is no 7 work this weekend, because guess what? The Mets are at home this weekend playing against the Miami Marlins. Now, very quickly I'll mention, kind of idiotic how the schedule is. It's like, oh, we're going to give the Mets a 3-game homestand at Citi Field on Mother's Day weekend. Oh, guess what? Then they have to go on the road against Washington and go to Miami next weekend. Baseball is a funny sport, is it? It really is a funny sport when you think about that. Quickly mention, Yankees will be on the road against Tampa this weekend. And then here's something idiotic. They're back at home next 3 games against Baltimore, and then they're playing the Rays, and they have to go back on the road after Tampa. So again, pretty idiotic how the MLB season's been so far with the scheduling. But thank goodness the MTA spoke with the Mets, and they said, oh, you can't have any work. Well, thank goodness for everybody who will be attending the Met games this weekend. You won't be impacted. So just quickly wanted to bring that up. How is the N? May 11th through the 12th, 3:45 a.m. Saturday to 10 p.m. on Sunday. Astoria-bound N trains will skip 39th, 36th, and 30th Avenue along with Broadway because of station renewal. There will be partial M service available this weekend. May 10th through the 11th will be 10 p.m. Friday to 1:30 a.m. Saturday. And the 11th to the 13th, 6 a.m. to 1:30 a.m. Saturday to Monday. Special weekend M service will run between Middle Village, Metropolitan Avenue, and 47 50th Street, Rockefeller Plaza, and via the F, to and from Lexington Avenue, 63rd Street, and via the Q, to and from 2nd Avenue, 96th Street. How is the R this weekend? May 10th, 9:45 p.m. to 11:45 p.m. on Friday. And May 11th to the 12th, 6 a.m. to 11:45 p.m. Saturday and Sunday. Manhattan-bound R trains will skip 65th, 46th, Steinway, and 36th Street, along with Northern Boulevard because of track maintenance. This will also be taking place on the E as well. Time frame is, well, I'll get to that in just a second. Here we go. You will also have the track maintenance project affecting your local westbound E service this weekend. But I will also mention the 10th through the 13th, 10:45 p.m. Friday to 5 a.m. Monday, eastbound Jamaica trains will be skipping Briarwood because of track replacement. So what I would recommend doing if you need service to Briarwood is just get off at Kew Gardens Union Turnpike and just walk. just walk on Queens Boulevard. It's an easier option. You don't have to deal with the Q60. And literally, it's next station over. It's literally the next station over. You're right by the courthouse, and you don't have to worry about it. So that's my best recommendation if you don't want to deal with the Q60. I would also, let me see. Let's see if the F is an option. No, it will not be. And guess what? It will also be skipping Sutphin Boulevard. That's not good. So, again, if you have the option to walk from Kew Gardens Union Turnpike or take the Q60, that would be my recommendation. Or, what you could do is, you could take a westbound train at Parsons Boulevard and go to Sutphin that way. Or, if you're on the E train, you can go to Jamaica Van Wyck and take a westbound train that way. That could be another alternative, but again, I wouldn't recommend it. I really wouldn't recommend it. Plus, keeping in mind, the weather on Saturday, it's going to be gorgeous. It's going to be 68 degrees. So, if you're coming home from Manhattan and let's say you're having a fun weekend out in the city, and you come back, it's better to just walk from Kew Gardens Union Turnpike. That would be my recommendation. On the A, wow, the A's really had bad luck this month. It's already the second full week of, first full week, but yeah, it's very bad for the A so far in the past 3 weeks. Let's see where this is going to take place. The 10th for the 13th, 11:30 p.m. Friday to 5 a.m. Monday. Shuttle buses will replace trains between Rockaway Boulevard and Rockaway Park because of signal improvements. The shuttle to Rockaway Park will be rerouted. A trains will still run between 207th Street and Lefferts Boulevard. So if you still need service to Lefferts Boulevard, you will still have service. That's good news. That's good news if you need to connect with the Q10 bus. It's a better option. I will say that right now. I will say that. If you need service to LaGuardia, JFK, if possible, take the Q10 bus this weekend. The shuttle will run between Rockaway Park and Far Rockaway. Again, that's going to be very complicated to connect with the air train. Shuttle buses will run along 3 routes. You will have non-stop service between Rockaway Boulevard and Far Rockaway via the Nassau Expressway. You will have local between Rockaway Boulevard and Rockaway Park via Cross Bay Boulevard. And you will have local service between Rockaway Boulevard and Howard Beach. Okay. Alrighty, so there's still service at Howard Beach this weekend. Let me think. Right, I think no, the 41 doesn't go anywhere near LaGuardia, near JFK. Doesn't go anywhere near it. And it doesn't even connect with the Q10, so there's no way I can help you out there. So, I'll say if you're going to JFK Airport, please pack some extra patience. If you're in the Rockaways, I'm going to urge the MTA to do this. Please give the accordion buses out this weekend on that local route. Literally, JFK Depot should be giving those accordion buses if they're available. JFK Depot runs the Q10 route. Should be giving those accordion buses. Just saying. Anyhow, last point is transfer at Rockaway Boulevard for shuttle buses, Far Rockaway or Rockaway Park. Unfortunately, if you want service on the J line, you're not going to have it again this weekend. The 11th to the 12th, 3:30 a.m. Saturday to 10 p.m. Sunday. Free shuttle buses along with the E will be replacing J trains between Broadway Junction and Jamaica Center because of track replacement. J service will run between Broad Street and Broadway Junction. Free shuttle buses will make all J stops between Broadway Junction and 121st Street and connect with the E at Jamaica Van Wyck. Transfer between trains and free shuttle buses at Jamaica, Van Wyck E, and or Broadway Junction J. Any work on the G? We have no work on the G this weekend, so that's good news. I can confirm from the email system that they didn't give me any info on the G, so that means there's no work on the G. That's good. And I also mentioned it again with the L train project. It's very important to have the G train as an alternative. I'll make that point very clear. You know, if people are still confused about this whole L madness, and again, I'm not going to recap it because it's just repetitive. I really don't need to get into it, but the G is just a line that serves Queens. The L is a different story. Now, I have some good news on the railroad. There is no planned work this weekend. However, I'm going to read to you all this week some press releases that are of note. So that will be our next segment, and I will mention in the press releases, I will talk to you all about the parking situation at Farmingdale. I know I am a little bit behind on that, but it has to be addressed because we have the U.S. Open coming next weekend, and I will bring up the service changes for the upcoming week for the U.S. Open, and I will maybe next weekend I'll recap it. I'm going to debate that. I'll see if I want to do it, but with the U.S. Open starting on Monday, you know, it's a big headache. And also, again, we have other important press releases that need to be read. I know there are a couple of them that are outdated, but I want to react to them because I just really haven't been able to fit the time in. So next up will be the press release segment for you all. So now we're going to read some press releases from the MTA along with a couple news articles that are important for everyone to pay attention to transit-wise. So the first thing we're going to talk about was an issue that happened back on Wednesday. I did a live stream about it as soon as it broke, but I wanted to read you all this article from Newsday.com in regards to what happened. And obviously when there's a serious issue on the railroad, like an emergency in general, of course, my first source is Newsday. So what happened was a tractor-trailer, as you can see here, was struck by an M7 train. And as you can see, this was an M7. And I will show you in the video I did back on Wednesday why they have to elevate that area, because that area needs to be elevated at Merritt's Road. And here's a fail. I'm sorry, I have to play the Price is Right music. This is a typo. This is a typo. It's May 10th. May 10th. Yesterday was May 9th. It happened on May 8th. Newsday really screwed this up. So I'll read it properly. Rail service in both directions was restored on Wednesday night after an eastbound train struck a tractor-trailer after 2 hours earlier at the Merritt's Road crossing in Farmingdale. The train struck the tractor-trailer at the crossing between Bethpage and Farmingdale at 5:45 p.m. The MTA did report that no injuries were accounted for. The train crash, along with the truck, shut down service in both directions on the Ronkonkoma branch. A rescue train removed passengers from the disabled trains, and riders were advised to take alternative trains through the Huntington, Port Jefferson, and the Babylon and Montauk lines. Officials advised customers to use the LIRR social media account and its website and alerts for updates. The railroad tweeted shortly before 7 p.m., and this is a note I will mention. 629 train from Huntington due independent 734 made added stops at Merlon Avenue, New Hyde Park, and Kew Gardens to accommodate the customers from the service suspension on the Ronkonkoma branch. So, the railroad did the right thing. Took about 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours, but there was communication. So, that is to be thanking upon Philip Bang for changing the culture of the Long Island Railroad in the past year. So, in the Wachowski days, everything would have been hidden from us, but with the Philip Bang administration, things are a whole lot different. So, that is good to note. I will quickly show you an image. This is from my video back on Wednesday. I have it on mute. So you see here, this is Merritt's Road. This is the grade crossing, as you can see. And, again, we are having the same discussion over and over again. Why can't they elevate this? This should be elevated or sunken down into the ground. You're not going to want to do that. The whole grade crossing is going to have to be replaced now. And what's so stupid is Palmer's, you have 7-Eleven, the gas station. Palmer's is literally right down there. See that? That's Palmer's right down there. I went to a friend's graduation party back in December. I know this area very well. Very well. And I'm just disgusted that the railroad failed to neglect failed over the years. And again, you have to blame over the years for Patrick Nowakowski. I wanted to show you Matt Camper for a second. We'll bring him up. Yeah, here we go. See, this is a picture of the truck, the trailer that was involved in the accident. I'm trying to get you a picture from Merritt's Road. So, here's a picture from the incident. And as you can see here, they had to shut down Merritt's Road for a while. And they had to make people go on Bethpage Parkway just to access Hempstead Turnpike. Because, again, this is a major thoroughfare for Farmingdale. Yeah, so once again, here's a view of the area. Palmer's is right there. I said I have it starred because, again, I went to a graduation party back in December before Christmas. And ironically, here I am almost 6 months later even bringing this up to you all. All because of one dumb incident that could have been prevented. Again, the railroad simply does not care about safety. And I can't blame Philip Bang for this. This has nothing to do with him. So, once again, I will thank Dinky Puden for tweeting this picture. Southbound the eastbound 522 to Ronkonkoma at left Penn Station. Can't really clarify that at the moment, but that's just the update on what happened back on Wednesday. Figured it was an important news story, so I would bring that up to you all, even though it is 2 days later, and it's important that we bring that up. Anyhow, I have some news for you all. This is a last-minute schedule change for a board meeting for the MTA, but I need to get this information out to you all. Later today at 4 p.m., and I'll zoom in if you're on a phone because this is important. Today at 2 Broadway, once again, this will be taking place later today at 4 p.m. This will be a special board meeting in regards to MTA overtime pay and how they're going to investigate this. This will be taking place at 2 Broadway on the 20th floor. I know next Monday, not this upcoming Monday, the 20th, will be the committee meetings. And guess what? I'm going to have a rant about this next week. We're not going to talk about it this week. It's not important, but look at this. Look at this. Metro North and Long Island Railroad's going to have a joint committee meeting. Ugh. As I said, I'll get more into that next week, because I'm not in the mood to. I'm not in the mood to today. So every 2 months I have to bring this up, but I'm not in a good mood seeing this right now. I'm already in a bad mood already seeing this. But this is important. This has to be addressed immediately. So later today at 4 p.m., Chairman Pat Floyd back on Wednesday called into a special session for the MTA board to discuss the overtime. The chairman is calling for an internal investigation of high overtime rates after Albany-based Empire Center for Public Policy reported a LIRR employee making almost $350,000 in overtime back in 2018. So let's look into this. Alright, so as I said, the MTA will be meeting later today at 4 p.m. to address the issue of excessive overtime work by some of its employees. Once again, this was made out to the public back on Wednesday. The meeting, once again, at 4 p.m. later today, comes as the agency continues to deal with the backlash from a report released back in April that revealed alarming overtime rates. The authority's top earner in 2018, a Long Island Railroad chief measurement officer named Thomas Caputo, made exactly $344,147 in overtime last year on his base salary of $117,499. This was according to the Empire Center for Public Policy, a nonprofit based in Albany. MTA Chairman Pat Floyd, responding to controversy, called last week for an internal investigation into high overtime rates and asked MTA Inspector General Barry Kluger to conduct his own probe. Again, I don't really want to read more for you all, but this was brought up by Alfonso Castillo, who earlier this week, and I'll card it right now. I know I carded it earlier this week, but I'll card it. Matt Camper did read Alfonso's article about the M9s. I will quickly mention that I know it's an important story to bring up. They will be, according to Alfonso and Matt, both the sources said that M9 should be in service before the end of this month, so let's hope the railroad keeps their promise. Once again, Alfonso's been on the case all week, so a very good week for Alfonso. I'll give him that. But anyhow, let's see what else. Right, I just wanted to read you the statement from Pat Floyd. So I will take a look at this. To apologize. Okay, so this was officially released a week ago, back on Wednesday, May 1st. So this is what Pat Floyd said. The recent reports on excessive overtime payments throughout our system are extremely concerning. Some overtime is to be expected at any public transit agency in order to keep up with critical repairs and maintenance, especially at a time of extraordinary work being done around the system, aka, as an example, Third Track Project, Herald Interlocking, East Side Access, etc., etc. That's just my addition. But the accumulation of so many hours of overtime raises serious questions, including potential safety issues such as exhaustion. There is several actions in order to address the MTA's and public's concern about this issue and to address the growing problem. First, the chairman directed the presidents of Long Island Railroad, Metro North, and New York City Transit, so LIRR is Philip Bing, Metro North is Kathleen Rinaldi, and NYCT is Andy Byford, to do a full review of overtime procedures and regulations currently in place. It is important that the MTA does everything that they can to carry out the work of the Transit Authority efficiently and cost effectively. There are strict procedures and regulations in place regarding scheduling and payment of overtime. Those procedures either must be followed or the MTA needs to implement stronger rulings on day-to-day procedures. So this is what the presidents must do. Kathleen Rinaldi, Philip Bang, and Andy Byford, respectively. They have to review specifically the last 12 months of overtime claims. So this now has to go back to April of 2018. And payments to ensure that all were earned and appropriated. If the investigation suggests that could be possible, the MTA may need to look farther than April of 2018. They'll have to do so. So this information to the public should be available. So let me think. Right, May has 31 days. All right, so let's do the math. So they said 60 days. So probably beginning of July we'll know this information. Hopefully. Requesting the Inspector General's office to complete their own full review of excessive overtime payouts to ensure that they were appropriately paid for, scheduled, signed off upon, and the claimed hours in fact were worked. Finally, the MTA in the next month, this should be by the end of this month, will review all time and attendance verification systems at each of their facilities. It is critical that important work hours and attendance be reported accurately. So once again, this will be presented to the board and to the public. So I would assume probably this will be at the June board meeting, if anything. MTA is funded by taxpayers and is responsible for the safe transport of millions of people every day. It is critical that the public has the trust every day. Ensuring that every dollar spent on overtime is back being spent properly is part of the mission. So it seems the Long Island Railroad is the worst example of this. I know I'm behind on it, but it has to be done now because, you know, I promised I would do a press release segment, and I will not bring up the special meeting again. I don't think that is appropriate due to time constraints. Alright, so next up, I will now talk to you all about Farmingdale. And why are we discussing Farmingdale? Well, because this upcoming Monday, May 13th, the U.S. Open will start in Bethpage. So, MTA back on Tuesday, this was back on Tuesday, announced that added train service was added to help tens of thousands of fans reach the newly renovated Farmingdale station en route to the Bethpage Black Tournament starting on Monday, May 13th and ending on Sunday, May 19th. Once fans reach the Farmingdale station, complimentary shuttle buses provided by the PGA will be available for the short ride to Bethpage State Park and the main spectator entrance. Golf fans are encouraged to purchase round-trip tickets before boarding trains, as tickets bought on board will cost more. Up to 18,000 fans per day are expected to use the Long Island Railroad to reach the tournament, with no parking allowed at Bethpage Park or at the Farmingdale station. Fans are encouraged to use the LIRR as the best way to avoid traffic and parking hassles. So they have this link, so let's see what this click on. That link, yep, that's the same one I was looking at earlier. Alright. You'll have your service from Penn, Woodside, Jamaica, Mineola, and Hicksville. You'll also have connecting service from Atlantic Terminal in Brooklyn. And I just have a bad feeling that next weekend the traffic's going to be bad in Long Island because of this. You have two bad traffic weekends coming up this month. My goodness. They have the added train service. This will be interesting. Monday and Tuesday we'll have 2 extra eastbound and westbound trains. Wednesday to Friday, 8 extra eastbound trains, 10 extra westbound trains. Saturday and Sunday you will have 13 extra eastbound and 14 extra westbound trains. So remember, Farmingdale was just renovated, so it'll be interesting to see how that ends up. Now, this is the problem. This is the problem. We're going to have a parking situation. Now, fans who travel by car must park at Jones Beach, then board complimentary shuttle buses to the golf course. This is stupid. Why are they telling people to park their cars at Farmingdale? Idiotic. Suffolk County residents traveling west of Farmingdale should know they can park at any LIRR station east of Farmingdale. So they'll be able to park at Ronkonkoma, Central Islip, Brentwood, Deer Park, and Wyandanch. So they'll be able to park for free on weekends, then take a train to Farmingdale, and then connect with shuttle buses. This is just insanity. Nassau County residents traveling east to Farmingdale can park on weekends at the Mineola Intermodal Center for $6 per day up to 20 hours and $12 per day up to 24 hours. Okay, this is so idiotic. And what about the people in Hicksville? What about them? Yep, no information on that. Now, here's more of an epic fail. And again, I'll play the News 12 video. I'm gonna let you all watch a News 12 report on this, and then I'm gonna make a rant because I am just irate about this. Both the North and South Long Island Railroad commuter parking lots at Farmingdale will be closed starting on Saturday and will be reopening on Monday, May 20th. 12 parking spaces will remain available for handicapped Farmingdale Long Island Railroad parking permit holders. Again, this is just idiotic. So they're just screwing over the regular people who pay hundreds of dollars just to go to work, and then they have to go to the city. Let's just take a look at this. There are rules. There are rules that they have. Right, no bikes allowed. Don't drive to Farmingdale. Make sure you buy round-trip tickets. Please activate e-tics before boarding. Listen to a train station announcements. Right, you have to get off at Farmingdale for bus service. Right, no parking at Farmingdale. Right, and they have the senior. Alrighty. Prohibited items in the park. Bags. Prohibited bags will not be accepted or stored on site. Backpacks will also be banned at Bethpage Park. Bags larger than 10x, 10x, 10x. PGA will have a pop-up store at Bethpage. Okay, so personal items will be banned. Personal electronics, computers, laptops, tablets, drones, hoverboards, laser pointers, and selfie sticks, golf clubs, oversized chairs with wide armrests, weapons, we know that, buckets, ladders, milk crates, or stools. Food and beverages, coolers, food except in limited quantities for medical, dietary, or infant purposes, alcohol, beverages, one unopened sealed bottle of water per spectator is permitted. Promotional items, banners, posters, or signs. Any materials with unauthorized advertising or promotion. Other items deemed inappropriate. Yeah, they are strict about this. I gotta admit that. So I'll quickly just mention that there's a schedule. So Monday through Wednesday will be practice rounds. Thursday and Friday, first and second rounds of competition. Wow, so they're going to start 6:45 in the morning next Thursday. Wow. Okay, third and fourth rounds competition will be on Saturday and Sunday at 8 a.m. So now we will watch the News 12 video about the parking situation in Farmingdale. and then I will make my rant.
Well, Nassau and Suffolk gearing up for the 2019 PGA Championship at Bethpage Black. News 12's Kevin Vesey tells us how both counties plan to deal with the hundreds of thousands of fans.
Final preparations are underway here at the Bethpage Black Golf Course as some of the biggest names in the sport, including Tiger Woods, get ready to tee off in the 2019 PGA Championship. Organizers are expecting around 200,000 fans, so officials say mass transit is the best way to get to the links.
I would encourage people who are coming to take public transportation. If you take the LIRR to Farmingdale, there's a free shuttle. It's literally 5 minutes away.
Problem is, daily commuters like James Bianco will not be allowed to park at the Farmingdale station during the tournament, even though a permit costs $400 per year.
It's a bit unfair.
According to the LIRR, parking will be closed to commuters here at the Farmingdale station from May 11th until May 20th. The only exception will be these 12 handicapped spaces. As an alternative, train riders are being asked to park at the Wyandanch station instead, nearly 5 miles to the east.
For most of us who go into Manhattan every day, it really doesn't make much sense.
But Farmingdale Mayor Ralph Ekstrand says the space is needed to accommodate both state police and the 26 buses that will shuttle fans to and from the golf course.
In a situation where you're going to have almost 250,000 people visit in a week. Okay. It's the best we could do.
And though commuters aren't exactly calling the plan a hole-in-one, they'll put up with it. After all, the tournament is bringing world-class golf right into their backyard.
We'll find a way around it, but it's kind of unfair for the commuters not to have a voice in this.
In Farmingdale, Kevin Vesey, News 12, Long Island.
Well, the practice rounds are set to begin May 13th, and the tournament will get underway May 16th.
So pretty much, it's corruption at its finest at the Long Island Railroad. They don't care about the average customer who works so long during the day. They have to go into the city. They pay hundreds of dollars for parking. This isn't right. This isn't right. I don't know why the PGA was allowed to do this. Gary, we need to have our buses available. This is terrible organization. Terrible. No other places to park your buses? I find this ridiculous. And guess where they're making people park? And if you didn't see it in the video, I'll show you all where they're making people park. Because this is the dumbest thing I have ever seen. This is so stupid. I'll show you all where they're making people go. 5 miles east into Wyandanch. 5 miles east. This is a joke. Do you know how crowded the parking garage at Wyandanch is going to get? And here's the worst part. Here's the worst part. Do you know how crowded Deer Park's going to be now? Deer Park's going to be a disaster. It's just terrible organization. Shame on this railroad. Shame on them. I mean, for a whole week, I really do feel bad for these people. I really do. I don't want to yell. I don't want to shout because it's going to be repetitive, but so stupid what they're doing. It really is. I don't understand the rail. It's a love-hate thing with the railroad. So anyhow, 2 more press releases. We'll now go to New York City. This was back on Friday last week. They are going to improve station environment at the Canarsie Rockaway Parkway station. And the good news is, station will remain open to for service during the construction. There will be an upgraded bus terminal, station booth, and accessible customer amenities. I'm just trying to see what amenities are available. Alright, so they will create designated bus stops and a new sidewalk curve for bus ramps to extend to the appropriate height for wheelchair access, rehabilitating the subway station house, upgrading the station agent booth for wheelchair user height, amenities, constructing an accessible unisex bathroom, adding new crew facilities, replacing doors and windows, new roofs to be installed, constructing new accessible sidewalks, adding turnstiles and accessible subway platform edges, repairing the What? Yes. Yes. Repairing the station's island platform and regarding all station ramps. The first phase of the project will focus on the bus terminal. It will begin on Monday, May 13th. During the phase, the B6 and B42 bus stops will be temporarily relocated to nearby streets until fall of 2019. B42 buses will terminate on Rockaway Parkway between Glenwood Road and Smith Lane at the existing B60 bus stop. Westbound B6 buses will stop on Rockaway Parkway between Glenwood Road and Conklin Avenue. Once the phase is complete, the B6, B42, and B82 local routes and B82 select bus will stop at the station. So that's good that they're renovating it. That is very good. I'm going to give them credit. And lastly, I will mention that the RTSs are going to be off the road by the end of the weekend. That's very good news. They have a photo of the retirement ceremony, so let's take a look. So officially, the last ride took place back on Monday, May 6th for the M55 route. And thank goodness, it is about time. I mean, I like those buses, the Nova Bus RTS, but it's time for it to go. Time for it to go. So now you're going to have all the new buses. And that can be partially thanked by Governor Cuomo in a way. Even though Cuomo said we were supposed to get the new buses on the 46, but he lied. I don't need to make a rant about that. But anyhow, let's take a look at this photo gallery. Let me get you a picture. So here we go. So here is the bus leaving. This is the last official bus on the M55 bus route. And as you see here is the president of buses, Daryl Irick, who, again, if he is watching, trying to see if we can get his picture to load. There we go. That's him. So that's president of New York City Transit, New York City Bus, Daryl Irick, who, again, thank you for, once again, ending our traffic nightmare with the Q30, Q31 earlier this week. We've been waiting for a while, and it finally got done. But as you can see here, he is enjoying the last ever ride on the bus. So I know my last ride on the Nova Bus RTS, I think it was a couple months ago. I don't remember at the moment. I know it was along the Q17 when I left from Flushing. Okay, this is odd. I can't get back to the album. That is not being helpful. Whoa, okay, what just happened? Just lost the Wi-Fi signal. Oh, there we go. It does that from time to time. I do apologize, everyone. Happens. See if we can load it up. So there we go. There we go. I bet all the people on that bus were stunned. Why is everybody filming? Well, this was an historical moment, you know? It's not every day the bus fleet gets retired. And look at that. Look at that. That is just so nostalgic with those, with that. I used to remember riding the Q88 all the time and pushing that thing along with the Q46. I am really going to miss these buses. I really, really am. And of course, another reason why I love this bus, made in New Mexico. And there it is, the steering wheel. And there were a couple YouTubers who filmed, and that is, of course, the press conference that they had. It's Daryl Irick addressing the media. So, again, hopefully, come to think of it, there's Daryl Irick right now with the window. That's kind of cute. I love that. That is kind of cute. Yep, and again, I'm one of those riders. That, again, rode those buses over the years along the Q46 and Q88. So, it's really, again, I'm really going to miss these buses. I'm really going to miss them. And I know, again, I've bashed the Orion 7 in the past year, but again, I still remember when the Orion 7s were first sent out to the fleet back in 2003, 2004. So, I'm going to have to say goodbye to them soon. And, when they get retired, I will, of course, give you coverage on the Orion 7s, because if I had known that this was happening on Monday, I could have went to the city and covered this, but I couldn't do that. But there were other YouTubers who covered it. So it's going to be a real miss. Goodbye, Novabus Novabus RTS. There we go. Goodbye. We will miss you, and hopefully you'll be in the Transit Museum. So with that being all said, I'm going to wrap up this segment of the video. I know the video went a little bit longer than it was supposed to this week, but a lot had to be done, a lot had to be said. So with that, I'm going to wrap it all up. Thank you all for watching. Until the next one, please take care.